Here's what would have happened if Jon Snow married Daenerys. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you love House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and deep dives into Westerosi lore. Let's begin. Game of Thrones is a story of power, ambition, and fate. And among all the relationships in the series, few carried as much significance as the one between Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. Two heirs of great houses, two leaders with visions of a new world, and two people whose love story was destined to reshape Westeros, if only it had reached its full potential. By the final season, we witnessed the tragic unraveling of their relationship. Daenerys' descent into tyranny forced Jon to make the unthinkable choice, killing the woman he loved to save the realm. But imagine for a moment an alternate reality, a world in which Jon Snow married Daenerys Targaryen. What would have happened? How would Westeros have changed? And what impact would their union have had on history? In this video, we'll explore this alternate timeline in detail, imagining the political, social, and personal consequences of Jon and Daenerys ruling together as husband and wife. The marriage of Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen would have been one of the most consequential alliances in Westerosi history. Two A's uniting, Stark and Targaryen, would have represented the ultimate convergence of the North and the South, of ice and fire. This union would have sent a powerful message, the end of old grudges, the start of a unified realm, and the beginning of a new era. With Jon as a Northern Stark and Daenerys as the mother of dragons, their marriage would have symbolized both strength and legitimacy. Politically, it would have been genius. The North, historically wary of Southern kings, would have found reassurance in Jon, their own Stark, holding power. Daenerys, with Jon by her side, would have had a stabilizing influence, someone to temper her fiery impulses and guide her toward diplomacy rather than conquest. One of the most immediate consequences of their marriage would have been the combined military power of House Targaryen and House Stark. Dragons, Unsullied, Dothraki, and northern armies under one command would have created an unstoppable force. But more importantly, Jon's tactical brilliance combined with Daenerys' firepower would have ensured a balance. Instead of Daenerys' impulsive decision to burn King's Landing, Jon could have provided counsel, persuading her to use her dragon strategically rather than destructively. The North would have retained its identity while contributing to the broader vision of peace. The South, under Daenerys' rule and Jon's guidance, would have embraced reforms rather than experiencing devastation. Jon Snow is a man of honor, while Daenerys is a visionary. Together, they would have been capable of reshaping the political landscape of Westeros. A marriage between Jon and Daenerys could have led to 1. A unified realm. The North, the Riverlands, the Vale, and Dorne would have rallied behind a single king and queen. The Iron Throne would no longer be a symbol of oppression but a beacon of unity. 2. Reforms to feudalism. Daenerys' desire to end slavery and Jon's empathy for the oppressed would have combined to dismantle systemic injustice across Westeros. Their reign could have seen the beginning of a more equitable system of governance, with increased power for the small folk. 3. The end of war for power. With the Stark-Targaryen alliance, many of the noble houses would have had no incentive to rebel. The Lannisters, seeing the strength of the royal union, might have acquiesced, preventing further bloodshed. 4. A new era of diplomacy. Jon's ability to negotiate with rival factions, combined with Daenerys' charisma and influence, would have ushered in a period of peace between the realms. Westeros might have finally experienced stability unseen for generations. Alternate scenes in King's Landing. Let's explore specific scenarios under this alternate timeline. 1. King's Landing is saved. With Jon's counsel, Daenerys' rage is tempered. The people of King's Landing are spared mass destruction. The Red Keep is preserved, and the city's infrastructure remains intact. The population, grateful for their lives, begins to see Daenerys and Jon as benevolent. Let's explore specific scenarios under this alternate timeline. 1. King's Landing is saved. With Jon's counsel, Daenerys' rage is tempered. The people of King's Landing are spared mass destruction. The Red Keep is preserved, and the city's infrastructure remains intact. The population, grateful for their lives, begins to see Daenerys and Jon as benevolent rulers rather than conquerors. 2. The Lannisters' fate. Jaime and Cersei Lannister may still have faced justice, but perhaps in a fairer trial rather than fiery annihilation. Cersei's eventual imprisonment and Jaime's voluntary exile or service under the crown could have preserved honor while maintaining accountability. 3. Northern autonomy. Jon's influence ensures the North retains its traditions and governance while still pledging loyalty to the throne. Sansa remains Lady of Winterfell, advising Jon as a trusted partner in maintaining Northern interests. Prophecy and destiny. Jon and Daenerys' marriage would have fulfilled many aspects of prophecy. The prince that was promised. Some theories suggest that together, Jon and Daenerys would embody the prophecy, Aza Ahai reborn, wielding fire and ice to protect the realm from darkness. Their union would combine the strengths of Targaryen fire with Stark resilience, creating a force capable of confronting any future threat. Peace through legacy. Rather than fulfilling prophecy through destruction, they might have achieved it through unity, compassion, and leadership. Prophecy does not always manifest through bloodshed. It can also emerge through vision and partnership. The impact on the Night's Watch. Jon's marriage to Daenerys would have altered his connection to the Night's Watch dramatically. 1. Abandonment of the Wall. Jon may have resigned his position as Lord Commander, leaving the Night's Watch to maintain independence under new leadership. His marriage symbolizes a shift from personal duty to collective governance. 2. Support for the North. With Jon's attention on the throne alongside Daenerys, the North could have relied on his guidance without direct oversight. Leaders like Sansa, Tormund, and other northern captains would ensure stability, while Jon focuses on kingdom-wide affairs. The Dragon Alliance. The dragons are not merely weapons. They are symbols of power, fear, and legitimacy. Jon's marriage to Daenerys strengthens the bond between human and dragon, ensuring that Westeros is led by a ruler who understands both empathy and strength. Imagine a council where Jon's strategies and Daenerys' firepower complement each other. Raids are precise, conflicts are minimized. Marriage between Jon and Daenerys would have opened unprecedented opportunities for diplomacy. 1. Dorne and the Reach. These traditionally independent regions could have aligned with the crown, inspired by Daenerys' charisma and Jon's honor. The southern kingdoms might have pledged loyalty willingly, creating a more cohesive political landscape. 2. The Riverlands. With Jon's reputation as a fair and just leader, the Riverlands could have avoided the chaos of war entirely, preventing devastation and building long-lasting alliances. 3. International relations. Essos and the Free Cities may have been drawn into the fold diplomatically, rather than through conquest.